Moonshine, homemade whiskey. Some will say it's a simple country pleasure, a tradition as American as bluegrass and back porches. But for others, moonshine's got a dark side. It's dangerous to make, sometimes deadly to drink, and it's against the law. Sundown near the Blue Ridge Mountains, the heart of the Virginia Appalachians. In this quiet country region, most people are settling in for the night. But these men are just starting a long night's hunt. Their prey is nocturnal. They're the Illegal Whiskey Unit, a special task force with Virginia's Alcoholic Beverage Control. They're looking for moonshiners.
We just want to go ahead and make a move around here and then we'll get quiet. I'm saying it's right down in there. You want to cut that way?
Deep in the woods, they find it.
They got liquor in there.
An illegal moonshining still.
Thing might be hot. Might be hot.
This is a square cap. Most of them are round. You've seen the other ones that are round. Yeah. This one's pretty unique. He started trying to camouflage his cylinders, but he gave up on that.
This is completely set up. As far as the way he's got it designed, completely different what we usually see. He's got a pump system down here on the creek. You know, they hadn't been back for a few days. We still got some illegal whiskey though in the barrel. It's not uncommon for them to leave it, but what's uncommon is they hadn't already come by and pick it up.
The agents could destroy it, but they've got a better plan. They'll watch, wait, and catch the moonshiners in the act.
Well, we got something to keep our eye on.
Moonshiners versus the law. It's a feud as old as the hills. Moonshine's illegal because the government can't collect taxes on it. But that won't stop the moonshiner. In this neck of the woods, this clear corn liquor's a heritage, a source of Southern pride.
I have did it off and on all through my lifetime. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You get your little couple cups out there and you take it up there, so the heck with the law. We're gonna make some liquor, man. You build your nerve up, right?
Making moonshine's a trade secret, passed on from generation to generation. But the basic process has stayed the same for years. The moonshiner begins by heating up water, cornmeal, yeast, and sugar inside the still. The alcohol evaporates and moves to the thumper keg and on to the worm box. Here, cold water condenses the alcohol steam back into liquid. The first run is nearly pure alcohol.
It'll put you down. It'll knock you out. It'll turn your lights out, you know what
I mean? But make no mistake, moonshining's a dirty, grubby job. Jesse Brisendine's a diesel mechanic today, but growing up, he worked as a still hand.
What was hard about it, well, you have to physically get inside the still to clean it out, and the hole's only about this big, and so, you know, when I was a teenager, I was a little bit smaller, so, and all the other guys were older, and they weren't as agile as I was, so I was able to get over in there. But I had fun doing it because I felt like I learned a lot, you know, from my experience from it. But the thought of going to a federal prison kind of, you know, it kind of takes the thrill out of it.
But some families have found a way to make the real thing without doing real time. Chuck Miller's grandfather was a moonshiner who hid from the law. But today, the Millers are running one of the nation's only legal moonshine distilleries.
We've tried to make, less than 100 proof, but people like it. They like it strong. I mean, it tastes better strong, actually. It doesn't taste as good weak.
It always tends to sell better in the winter months, too, does it not? It warms you up inside.
Cheaper than firewood.
Nice, warm feeling.
Yeah.
Cheaper than firewood.
Yeah.
What makes the Miller's corn whiskey legal? This piece of paper, a permit from the government. They pay the taxes that allows them to manufacture and sell the real stuff. Their version's called Virginia Lightning, a recipe handed down from his grandfather's own illegal moonshining business.
Well, I can tell you, from having a little sip at it every now and then, it's a little different product. You take a sip, you'll go, wow, But it gets to you real quick. Something about fresh corn whiskey, I get a lot of bang for your buck. I mean, it gets to you in a hurry, yeah. So the people buy for all kinds of reasons, huh?
Without the doctor's prescription, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
It's good for colds, too, yeah. Yeah. It's an all-around product.
Oh, man.
Operations here are bigger than a backwoods still. But it's still a family operation.
Yeah, we grow our own corn out of the cornfield out here and harvest the corn during harvesting season and bring it over to the grain tank here. Then when it's time to make moonshine, you get the mixer grinder back up with the tractor. Series of augers, you pump it into the mixer grinder, and the mixer grinder mixes it up into the cornmeal.
You got to get the mix right. All that is real important. You can always make funny things when you mix grain and water together, as you know, you can make dough balls, you can make glue. So the temperature is real critical when you do these things.
Stick's about as old as I am, but
yeah, I think it is, Kurt.
One different thing now, I don't need a stepping stool.
That's right, you don't need to stand on a stool. That's right, that's the only thing that's changed.
This copper still was built in 1933, right after Prohibition. It's a relic in its own right, and getting his hands on it was half the battle. Finally, Chuck Miller turned to unlikely allies, federal agents in the business of destroying stills.
And I said, well, darn, you guys are busting them up all the time. Surely you know where one is. And that's when they told me about this one. I saved it from destruction. I always like to check out the mash, see how I did. This is going to be a nice batch, I can tell. The mash is just resting up here now. Tastes a little bit like flat beer. Well, it's fun to taste it, before it comes over here, the yeast gets on it, it gets real sugary, real sweet.
To meet legal requirements, this moonshine must fall between 99.8 proof and 100 proof. If it's even a fraction over 100 proof, which equals 50% alcohol, it's illegal. So Chuck measures the proof with a hydrometer.
See, it just floats down in the whiskey, and it'll tell you your proof as it comes out.
Chuck's bottling equipment was originally used for wine, dates back to the 1930s and 40s. It's a workhorse operation, but very temperamental.
Then I see a capper machine. Kirk's your expert on the capper. He knows how to talk to that machine. Kirk, anything you want to say about that capper?
Oh, it's like your best friend. You gotta treat it the right way or it's gonna be mad at you.
You gotta get the right amount of glue. If you don't get the right amount of glue to come out, the labels will start sticking everywhere.
Unlike most liquor, moonshine's meant to be fresh, not mellowed with age. According to the label, this product is less than 30 days old.
Well, it's just a traditional way to drink moonshine. It's a fresh product. That's what gives, I think, its uniqueness. Once you acquire it. Gordon, you want to say how do you enjoy drinking moonshine?
Very much so.
Yeah, do you like Virginia Lightning, Gordon?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The best moonshine on the market.
There you go. Thank you, Gordon.
Moonshine and whiskey are both corn liquors, but whiskey's aged in oak barrels, which gives it a distinct color and taste. The Miller's version of whiskey goes back to the Prohibition era, when moonshiners came up with a trick to age their whiskey in a hurry.
So what was done is they would take oak chips, or wood chips. And what you do, instead of putting the whiskey right in the barrel, you put the barrel in the whiskey. This is an apple tree. It's been, you can see it's been split and then debarked and then cut into thin wafers, and then we toast it heavily on both sides. Smoke-free, and soak it in the whiskey for about 2 months. It looks totally harmless, doesn't it, huh? Guarantee it will get your attention.
Like most moonshining families, the business has stayed in the family, getting passed on through generations, and the Millers are no exception.
He loves it, though, yeah.
Well,
he loves it. He loves it.
I enjoy
buddy.
it,
One day you'll get to retire, won't you?
That's right. And all this will be yours, Kirk. It'll all be yours. I think it's a legitimate whiskey, and it's part of our American tradition, and we got to keep it alive. You know, it's alcohol. We drink it with respect, but it's still part of us, you know?
Moonshine. Making it takes a lot of work, and hauling it takes a lot of nerve. Every night, when the sun went down, these quiet country roads turned into a showdown between the haulers and the law. These midnight backwoods battles were about to escalate into something bigger, something that would captivate a nation. It started with Prohibition, when big cities got their first taste of illegal liquor. Even after Prohibition was repealed, Moonshine's cheap price kept it in high demand. To deliver the product from the backwoods to the big city, many moonshiners hired moonshine haulers. They had to drive late at night when the roads were clear and fast enough to outrun the law. These moonshine haulers would take the love of speed to a whole new level.
It was all about going as fast as you can because the guy behind you was going to put you in jail. That was the deal. And how much would you get to haul a load of liquor to Greensboro, Winston-Salem back in the 50s?
You'd probably make $150.
A trip?
Yeah.
One night, $150. Is it not easy to see how these young guys did that?
To haul moonshine, you'd need to work late nights, sometimes till the sun came up. Above all, you'd need a fast car, one that could handle sharp turns while carrying a heavy load of illegal liquor. About a decade after Prohibition, the 1940 Ford, with its 100-horsepower flathead V8 engine, was the moonshine hauler's car of choice. Gotta be that you could tell a bootlegger by the modifications to his 40 Ford.
I think it's Saturday night in North Wilkesboro in 1957. Watching all these 40 Fords go down the street with the back end jacked up. And you saw that same car Saturday night about midnight and it was level. That means you had a load on. A load of illegal whiskey.
The revenuers, or lawmen out to catch them, retaliated with faster cars, but the moonshiners stayed a lap ahead with devious modifications. They installed switches in the dashboard to turn off the taillights, throwing off whoever was on their tail. Bootleggers swapped license plates to change their identity. And underneath the hood, they installed extra carburetors, which jack up the engine's capacity to burn fuel.
And pretty soon, that wasn't enough. They had to go to different engines. They started putting those Cadillac ambulance engines in the 40 Fords, trying to get all the horsepower they could.
But the ultimate secret weapon to haul and shine was the driver. When the sun went down, the battle was on. Outfoxing the law turned these drivers into folk heroes, and none's more legendary than this man, Junior Johnson.
How old when you started?
14.
14? So you didn't have a license?
No, didn't need one. Wasn't gonna stop.
Good boy, you couldn't afford to stop, could you?
No. You either won that race or you went to jail. I was gonna lose that race.
On the road, this quiet country boy turns into a speed demon unleashed. His tactics are simple: outrun the police. And if that doesn't work, scare the living daylights out of them by racing toward them head on.
They didn't want to get killed, I don't think, over catching a bootlegger. I thought I was too good a driver to to get killed. And I heard him a lot of threats. I want to catch that damn rascal one of these nights.
But it's not just the law. Bragging among bootleggers grows heated. Who has the fastest car and the skills behind the wheel? A promoter at the North Wilkesboro Speedway in North Carolina sees an opportunity. Why not charge people to watch bootleggers, the craziest daredevils on the road, to race each other?
I tied the mule to a fence post down there and got my shoes, went to Wilkesboro.
The bootleggers' antics on the track captivate the rowdy crowd. A year later, in 1948, promoters form NASCAR, and one of their biggest stars, Junior Johnson.
He had to have that great feel for the car. In other words, go in the corner, and most of these roads, a lot of these roads were dirt then. You know, and get the car through the turns, the corners as fast as possible, but not spin out.
By day, Junior's a NASCAR superstar, but by night, he's still hauling moonshine. He's never been caught on the road, yet the revenuers want to take him down. Finally, they get their opportunity. One quiet morning, while his father sleeps in, Junior tends the still. He has no idea the revenuers are waiting for him.
He hollered out, "Catch Junior Johnson down there, he just hit me with a shovel." I didn't mean to hurt him or nothing like that, I just wanted him to get off my back.
The revenuers finally catch up with Junior Johnson. He spends just over 11 months in jail and decides to give up the moonshining business for good to become a NASCAR legend. Still, he misses his days hauling moonshine.
We feel like we had one of the best lives of anybody. We, didn't hurt nobody but ourselves. If the time is right, I'd do it again.
Today, stock car racing's one of the biggest spectator sports in the world. For those late-night moonshine haulers, their only goal was to deliver their liquor and keep from getting caught. They had no idea they were igniting a racing revolution.
People like to watch people out there doing things that are death-defying. They were daredevils. Anything that you do that involves getting the adrenaline flowing, once you get a taste of it, it's hard to step away from it.
Moonshine, homemade whiskey. Making it's a crime. Today it's mostly done for illegal profit. But there was a time when moonshine was a matter of survival. For generations, families too poor to live off the land found a way to support themselves by making moonshine. Didn't matter if it was against the law. For them, it was just a matter of getting by.
It was a family tradition. It was a way that a family made a living, and they worked together to do it. I'm glad to see families proud of what they did, even though it was against the law.
But when Prohibition hit in 1920, moonshining suddenly exploded into big money. Gangsters like Al Capone got into the act, making a fortune on bootlegging. Revenuers, armed with axes, fought back hard.
During Prohibition, whiskey was made everywhere, whether it was on the coast, whether it was in the Piedmont, whether it was in the mountains. People were producing whiskey. We started getting into a really, what some people refer to as rock gut liquor. And it was liquor that wasn't made to be drank, it was liquor made to be sold to someone else.
13 years later, Congress repealed Prohibition, but the moonshiner wasn't about to go away. The profit on untaxed alcohol was too tempting, and still is today.
And the illegal whiskey business is all about money. It has always been that way, and it probably will always continue to be that way. And it looks like to me it's coming back, and coming back strong.
Moonshiners today come up with crafty tricks to keep from being caught. They build their stills under pine trees, which keep their foliage all year, making the stills more difficult to spot from air surveillance. They paint the stills camouflage and cover them with Army surplus tarps to disguise them. They'll also place bits of string and sticks on the path. If they're moved at all, they'll know an intruder's been around.
It's like a cat and mouse game. And they're trying to outsmart us, and we're trying to outsmart them. And sometimes they win, and sometimes we win.
Drop off on this road, walk over the other. Have you ever been in there before? Long time ago.
It's up to the Illegal Whiskey Unit, a one-of-a-kind task force dedicated to hunting down moonshiners. Their uniform is camouflage, and their best weapon, secrecy.
We can go into an area and see what we need to see and get out and no one know that we've ever been there. That's our goal. Yeah, I think their goal is also not to get caught.
Tonight, they get a tip that there's a big still set up deep in the woods. They use night vision to help them navigate the darkness.
See the hole there? Yeah. See a barn over there? We got some black pot stored right here.
It's a big find. 3 black pot stills made of wooden steel.
You can tell they're stored upside down. They do that so water won't collect in them. The hole's back under here. You can tell the hole's in good shape.
This setup alone can generate over 350 gallons of moonshine in just 1 week. That's nearly $5,000 a week profit.
Everything here is ready to go.
Now the men must return to the road, but they gotta be careful not to be seen. Agent Buddy Driscoll drives the pickup car. He's watching out for his partners.
I'm waiting for this car coming the other way. So the first set of lights you'll see will not be me. So don't jump out in front of it. See me blink? See it?
On cue, the men will make a run for it.
There on my left. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
With the hidden still discovered, the team will return to watch for activity. Once they see moonshiners busy, they'll make their move and arrest them on the spot.
Every day that we go out there, more likely we see someone or see something. But also, they also get to see us every day. And so they know us as good as we know them.
It's an escalating battle. Moonshiners do whatever they can to hide their operations, even building fake cemeteries over underground stills to avoid suspicion. But today, moonshiners are taking their stills indoors, where they can grow into factory-size outfits. By some estimates, there are 30 large-scale operations in Southwest Virginia alone. And the profits can be big. A gallon of White Lightning costs around $5 to make. Bootleggers can sell it for $20, making $15 profit per jug. They also save another $20 in unpaid taxes per jug.
Sheriff's office will have a search warrant. Come hit.
In 1992, the Illegal Whiskey Unit uncovered the biggest moonshine still operation in history. This warehouse contained 36 800-gallon stills. Their income, $50,000 a week.
This particular distillery would produce approximately 4,000 gallons of 90 proof untaxed whiskey every 8 to 10 days it was run. It was just amazement to me. I'd been involved in investigating stills for a few years at the time, and obviously never seen nothing on that scale.
When operations reach this size, so do the risks. Unregulated propane gas tanks can quickly ignite into a chain reaction.
Those LP gas tanks, they do not use regulators on them. And it can be very, very hazardous if something goes wrong. You have a flash explosion and people really have gotten burned bad.
Once the agents arrest the moonshiners, they need to destroy the stills. Sometimes axes do the job, but if the still's outside, moonshiners could attempt to repair them with blowtorches. So agents have come up with a more permanent solution. First, they remove the propane tanks. Then, with liquid nitro sticks, they destroy the still setup with a concussive explosion.
This gives you an idea what it looks like after it's blown.
The battle between the moonshiner and the law rages in the woods. The showdown on the roads continues as well, but gone are the days of outrunning the law. Today's haulers drive the speed limit and conceal their cargo. You'd pass them on the freeway and not even know they've got a load of illegal liquor stashed inside. To hide the weight, haulers have to modify their cars. A good example, Tim Smith's 1974 V8 Pontiac, pumped up with added horsepower, heavy-duty springs, and air shocks to adjust the level of the car.
If you had a gallon in it, you'd be in trouble. If you got 200 gallons, you're in trouble. So you might as well just put it all in there and then hope you don't get stopped. A lot of the guys I've noticed in checkpoints, they might come up and they'll shake your car a little bit to see how it kind of wiggled a little bit. And also you can listen. If you shake it pretty good, you can hear it slosh around in there a little bit.
But the illegal whiskey unit's on to their tricks.
This is where we're getting out. Okay.
Y'all ready? Don't slam the door.
Many moonshiners now use vans to haul their load and hide them when they're not in use. For the illegal whiskey unit, finding these vans tell them who's busy making moonshine. The agents spot a suspicious van parked near a warehouse, but they hear voices, and a confrontation's the last thing they want. If they're seen, the suspects might shut down the operation.
All right, I'd cut it off up here. Yeah.
But it turns out to be another moonshiner's trick.
A lot of locations that we go to will have a radio playing all the time. Just to us, we think it's just a deterrent that maybe if someone was just walking up in this area, that maybe they might be a little leery, thinking maybe somebody's around. Can you see that at all? I mean, that is a liquor van right there. Got heavy suspension in the back. Because you're probably looking at maybe they could very well be carrying 2 tons or more up the road. They don't want to show any signs that they got a load on. I mean, your springs are right up here, right on your axle. So you can tell they've added some lease into the suspension. Let's check around over here, see what we got. Got one full one. Yeah. So he's definitely got to steal somewhere. All right, let's just go regroup. Keep him in mind. We'll see if we can get him. They busy.
Are they?
They busy.
You kidding?
No, it's 4 tanks in there. Truck's clean, new tags.
Moonshiners versus the law. It's a battle that's been going on since liquor's been taxed. As long as moonshiners keep making their illegal brew, the law will keep looking for ways to bring them down. And it looks like there's no truce in sight.
The illegal whiskey business is surely not the most serious crime. But it's one of those crimes that really affects the community. Once they're in, it's hard to get them out, and it just becomes a never-ending cycle.
nasty. You done did all that hard work and cooked all of it, and then they come in and bust you. Cruel they are. But I guess it's their job, though.
I am part of that community, and it's just important for me to think that maybe I've had a little impact.
They say that moonshine can kick like a mule, but sometimes that kick can knock you out for good. Some claim that moonshine will make you go blind, cause paralysis, even kill with just one sip. Is it all legend, or is there some lethal truth?
I just heard stories of people going blind from drinking it. And, you know, you can ask anybody and say that that's possible because, you know, it'll take the white off your teeth.
When the moonshiner's in it for the money, it comes down to quantity, not quality. In the past, some devious distillers looking for a little kick to their brew added paint thinner, bleach, even embalming fluid. Other times, animals that smell the fermenting mash fall into the still, an unwelcome ingredient to the noxious brew.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a difference in bad moonshine and good moonshine.
I mean, there's a whole lot of people being killed by that stuff, you know. They make it all kind of stuff, just make it to get money.
Shoddy stills made from old car radiators can also turn moonshine into rot gut liquor.
What can go wrong? Oh, a whole lot can go wrong. Yeah, it's just so nasty you can't drink it. I mean, it stinks like a skunk. I mean, you couldn't even drink it.
Both Dr. Christopher Holsteg and Dr. Jeff Ferguson routinely see the effects of moonshine at the University of Virginia's Emergency Department and Poison Center.
Moonshiners, they're not going to admit to me they're using moonshine. And so there is. We have to look at what other clinical signs and symptoms, how are they acting right now? We try and put together pieces of a puzzle to try and narrow what the playing field may be.
Moonshine's still so romanticized in some areas that they're not really aware of how dangerous it could be.
Is moonshine still being made with formaldehyde or radiator fluid? Doctors begin their investigation by collecting 48 samples of illegal whiskey.
The samples actually were intriguing. They did have a smell difference. When you open the caps, you can tell. You could smell the aroma of the peaches, the apple. It smelled like cider, some of them. Some were tan, some were brownish in color, very thick, you couldn't see through it. Others were clear, and you could see right through them.
Though it's not scientific, locals swear that you can determine how much alcohol's in a bottle of moonshine by shaking it and watching for bubbles or beads. According to legend, the longer the moonshine holds its bead at the surface, the more alcohol it's packing.
The other test that people swear by is a flame test, where you actually put a small sample of moonshine in a spoon and set it on fire and actually look at the color of the flame that burns. Good evidence that it's good moonshine is that it should burn with a clear blue flame.
But for these doctors, folklore's not enough to determine what's in moonshine. This time, science will have the final say. They prepare the samples for laboratory analysis and wait for the results.
Our hypothesis being that moonshine was safe now. People were actually manufacturing it better than they did in the past.
But the results are disturbing. Though they find no significant amounts of formaldehyde or other additives, there's something else that could inflict serious injury: lead. A dangerous substance that once digested stays in the body for good.
To find lead still in moonshine, didn't anticipate that at all. To find that the majority of our samples had lead contamination in it shocked me. The toxicities of lead can be anywhere from, can cause gout, can cause renal problems, your kidneys can have difficulties, can cause hypertension, and in the worst cases, your brain can swell and people can die from that.
How does lead get into moonshine? When illegal distillers are in a rush to build their stills and sell their product cheaply, they'll save money by using lead soldering. The alcohol absorbs the lead as it passes through the still.
Tainted liquor looks like good liquor. it's all clear liquid and you wouldn't know the difference as a consumer.
Well, if it's got lead in it, it's no doubt, through time, you're gonna hurt yourself, and you're gonna hurt yourself bad.
Another disturbing find, the wide range of alcohol levels in the samples, from 20 proof to a numbing 130 proof. And the myth about going blind from moonshine, if it contains methanol, moonshine could knock your lights out for good.
Methanol is an alcohol. It's a toxic alcohol that gets metabolized to a thing called formic acid. Formic acid can cause you to lose your vision permanently. It'll never come back. If you start having somewhat of a Russian roulette, you don't know what you're getting.
Over time, chronic alcohol abuse can take a heavy toll on the brain.
This represents a normal person's CAT scan here, and notice that the character of this is pretty uniform, and notice that this gentleman has quite a bit of space, extra space around his cerebellum where likely his brain is deteriorated due to chronic alcohol exposure.
Dr. Holsteg and Dr. Ferguson hope their research will wake people up to the dangers of drinking illegal whiskey. But moonshine doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. Moonshine may have been born in the backwoods, but it's quickly becoming an urban problem, spreading far beyond the South. Nip joints, or illegal underground bars, are popping up in eastern cities like Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C.
If you were to walk into a nip joint, the moonshine would generally be just sitting on somebody's kitchen table. It's generally served by the shot, several ounces in a cup, usually charging for $1. There's really no checks and controls, so you're probably free to slam as many as you want.
Be the fourth house on the right, fourth house on the right.
On a Saturday afternoon, Virginia's ABC agents prepare to raid one of these nip joints.
You can encounter handguns, rifles, knives, or personal weapons. Somebody could try and fight you right there at the scene.
Only days ago, the agents got a tip that someone's selling bootleg liquor at this residence.
Please search warrant!
Please search warrant!
Search warrant!
Get your hands up where I can see
Get
them.
up!
Get your hands where I can see them!
Get your hands up!
Y'all ain't got to do all that.
All right, you by yourself?
No.
There were several people inside, and you could smell alcohol real strong at the back door.
Mr. Terry, we got a search warrant for your house, okay, for selling bootleg liquor, okay?
I don't feel like I drink it.
You got any bootleg here? We done got word, that you've been selling a lot of liquor out of here. Well, we know it's the truth. Ain't no mouthwash in this house, Mr. Terry, and we know liquor's been here. Those cups are used to sell shots of liquor. We know bootleg been here. We done bought bootleg out of this house. I'm being straight up with you now, all right? You listen to me. You can shake your head and deny it all you want to, but I'm telling you it's gonna stop today. He's up and down. Sometimes he's kind of agitated about it.
What are you doing? He putting boot in there with him?
No!
Just hush your mouth.
Don't be doing no arguing. Ain't gonna be no arguing, all right? Don't be no hollering. It ain't gotta be like that. Most parties kind of cooperative about it, being polite. This is not the first time he's been through. Y'all ready?
The agents confiscate 22 half-gallon bottles. The owner could receive a 12-month sentence and a $2,500 fine. Lab tests must verify that the liquid in these bottles is moonshine. But the agents have a pretty good hunch that this is the real thing.
This is untaxed bootleg liquor. Bootleg has a very distinct odor of its own. There's no question about it that you have, when it's bootleg liquor.
For years, midnight haulers loaded their trunks with bootleg liquor and raced the back roads. But today, moonshine is moving from the trunk to the tank. Ethanol may just spark the next revolution in racing.
The only difference in gasohol or ethanol and moonshine is what, Clay? Sugar, right? You add sugar to it, it's moonshine. If you don't, you put it in the car.
Jeff Simmons is an Indy Racing League driver for Ray Hall Letterman. His car, number 17, better known as Team Ethanol.
cleaner burning fuel and a high performance fuel. And it's going to be the fuel of choice, I think, in the coming years.
To be the first major race series in the world to use 100% ethanol as their fuel was a natural for us. It fit right in with the normal scheme of things for us.
Ethanol is essentially alcohol, and just like moonshine, it's made by fermenting and distilling corn into grain alcohol. The only difference is that a small percentage of gasoline is added to prevent anyone from drinking the ethanol. Instead of getting tanked on this moonshine, it goes into your tank.
This is the Fuel Pro. This part goes into the car. Yes, there is ethanol in there.
Though fueling cars with alcohol seems like the wave of the future, it's actually a thing of the past. In 1925, automobile innovator Henry Ford designed his Model Ts to run on alcohol.
Even though it's it got its roots from moonshine, I think that it's it's still going to be the fuel of choice because it's better for their car and it's better in every way.
Does this mean that moonshine, illicit for so long, will finally have its day in the sun as a new fuel source?
We did it 75 years ago. You all just now figuring it out. we had the advantage. We just didn't take it far enough.
I think there's potential for these people that have acquired, this art of liquor making to actually funnel it in a legitimate direction if they choose to do so.
Everything goes in a circle, doesn't it? Full circle. Yeah. And again, I'm pulling for the farmers. If they can make a living fueling their cars up and down the road, I'm pulling for them.
Moonshine may have a future as a new fuel source, but these people won't forget its past. Tim Smith comes from a moonshining family, and he's keeping the tradition alive with the Moonshiners Jamboree that pays tribute to fast cars, bluegrass music,
I'm going down to Climax Town to take my tobacco down.
and moonshine.
We can't really help who our mother and father was, and we can't help what they did to make their ends meet and pay the bills. And I really think it's something they ought to be proud of. And it all came from these back roads, the guys hauling homemade moonshine, you know, and trying to make $1.
I got a lot of ancestors, a lot of relatives that used to do it, and I'm sure y'all do too. I mean, it's a way of life. It was a way of living back then, and it's a good thing here to have a tribute to that, really. Yeah. Moonshine and bluegrass is kind of like a steak and a baked potato, I guess you could say. I mean, you can't really have one without the other. Yeah, it is kind of homegrown. It makes a lot of sense to do something like this for tribute.
Moonshine is a way of life. It's not just whatever you hear or whatever you think or whatever. It's the music, it's the soul, it's the peace of mind, it's people.
She's too city, I'm too country, Lord have mercy on me. She's too city, I'm too country, Lord have mercy on me.
As times change in these parts, some people are working to preserve moonshine's heritage before it slips away for good. Roddy Moore's the director of the Blue Ridge Institute and Museum at Ferrum College. His exhibition highlights the art of white lightning. Used to be that stills were built with pride and built to last.
If you look at the wills and the inventories of the families in the 18th and 19th century, a lot of them had a still as part of the ownership of the family farm equipment and things. A lot of people distilled, whether it was for themselves or it was a way to take your crop and make additional money. So it was a tradition that came from Europe with them, and it just continued into this area. Copper was always the preferred metal. It was a metal that once you heated it, you could make it soft, you could work it before it would get hard again. So your whole steel was made out of copper.
Moonshine, the product itself, has also been a source of pride. Today, moonshiners looking for a quick profit make their liquor with sugar. But back in the day, moonshine brandies, an alcoholic concoction with fruit, was a prize.
Now with brandies, you get your flavors, whether it's a peach or an apple, but the fruit liquor around here is a very popular thing around here. If it was a hanging crime, people would still be making it. That's it. It's a tradition, and it will stay alive.
Moonshining culture's also remembered through these classic cars. Willie Clay Call's an old-time bootlegger. He's been collecting and preserving the cars from the moonshine hauling days, when outrunning the police was how bootleggers escaped the law.
Well, there's all fast cars. I had fast cars.
These cars are more than relics. Willie Clay Call used them to outrun the police. Willie Clay Call's also got a rare moonshine hauling artifact. These wooden jackets for 5-gallon cans, used for carrying moonshine out of the woods. They learned the hard way that glass made too much of a racket.
Wood was quiet, like easing through the woods, you couldn't hear the wood.
But Willie Clay Call's best souvenir of his moonshining days? The memories and the money.
If I had to do it over, I'd do it again. I enjoyed it. Well, it's the money. You made a little money out of it if you got by.
Many people of this region didn't make moonshine, but they grew up with the stories and the sense of pride that fueled many moonshining families. Tim Smith's doing his best to preserve the culture. He understands the appeal and the curiosity.
Well, I think a lot of people come because they want to find out about moonshining. Some people come from, say, New York or somewhere, and they say, well, I never heard of this before. What does it taste like, and what does it look like, and that type stuff. So it's around, and it's still in this part of the country. Yeah, moonshine is served in mason jars, and they might drink it straight, and they'll chase it with something else. Just about anything that someone can get away with, and then sometimes it's a bragging rights too. They can tell someone else that they do it, or they can get it. They can get moonshine, and someone else cannot get it. So it's kind of special edition or limited to only the ones who know. And then, you know, if it's anyone could get it, it wouldn't be special. So it's kind of a special product.
Moonshine's many things to many people. For some, it's liquid nostalgia, an intoxicating connection to their history. For others, it's the wave of the future, the fuel that could rocket us into the 21st century. No matter what side of the tracks you fall on, there's no denying that moonshine's a rebel brew that sparked the American imagination. It may be dangerous.
Please, search one! Please, search one! Search one!
It may be illegal, but moonshine will always flow through American culture.
I think it's a legitimate whiskey, and it's part of our American tradition, and we got to keep it alive. We drink it with respect, but it's still part of us, you know?